Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the mop on a Monday morning. Getting close to the end of September, just a few days, and it is not feeling that way here in southwest Wisconsin. Lots of sunshine, going to be another warm day here. And, God's country is definitely full of bright sunshine. But welcome to the mop. It's just another day in the USA. Hey, did pretty good with that, and I didn't even plan it. It has been a hell of a weekend. And no matter if you are right or left, it has been a hell of a weekend. Gentleman drives into a church, open fires, there's 4 dead. The church is burnt to the ground, which they sound like he started it. A lot more details to come, but who do they blame first? The damn radical left. Out of the box. What the hell is it with that? When all the hate and everything else is pointed to, we're trying to divert other things. That's why the president's talking about his gold balls and the ballroom and whatever else he wants to discuss, besides taking into account that we have another shooting. At what point do the right and the left finally say, piss on it, it is time we get together? Oh, wait, you got to have a leader first that does that. You know, it's kind of funny. Everybody that's basing right or left, when it comes to your football or it comes to your baseball, you want to fire Fickle now at the Badgers because he seems worthless or whatever you want to call it. And you want to get rid of Love because he's worthless or whatever you want to call it. But yet, when it comes to your it does not matter one iota, right or left. You will stand there and defend that man or whoever it may be until a dying day. But if your football team or your baseball team has a bad day, it's fire the head coach. The President of the United States is our head coach. And if you think that our team is winning and moving to the Super Bowl of the nations, you have another thing coming. At what point do you realize that shit has gone downhill and it's going down fast? Or are you sitting at home going, God dang it, life is great. We have a beautiful Oval Office full of gold balls and 14 karat gold running everywhere. We're so good we can just waste all kinds of shit that we were supposedly trying to find out about was fraud and abuse and whatever else. Oh, by the way, did you know about the war in Oregon? There's a war. Yep, we're sending troops. Got to battle that. Yep, war savage Portland. I didn't know we had a war. And the only way I know that the war is happening is because that's what it's labeled as, I guess. I'm trying to figure out who's fighting who. If it's in Portland, Oregon, I'm guessing it's U.S. citizens versus U.S. citizens. That's my guess. But holy shit, Batman. My mom used to say that. Never understood it. Don't know who was talking to who, but holy shit, Batman, we got to figure out something. It's just pure bullshit that we are so complacent, it's driving me nuts. Because you're too busy bitching about the left if you're on the right, calling people stupid, you guys just don't get it, you're dumb. It's the best ever thing, the best president ever. Please. And out of the same mouth, you are saying, fire this head coach, fire that head coach, because they can't get people on the same page. Oh, and by the way, we're nearing a government shutdown, so let's go play golf. Go see the Ryder Cup. Go watch that. Go do this. Leave town. Some people they all went on vacation. They'll come back and discuss it. Whatever it may be. If your business was on near shutdown or bankruptcy or whatever you want to call it, and you go on vacation, you probably deserve to go bankrupt. Because you have ill-equipped managers in your cabinet to take care of the problem. So we now are going to war-savaged Portland, Oregon. I didn't know it was that big a deal. I don't think Oregon made big news nationally even about the war savage part. I would think if it was war savaged, I mean, I've seen things overseas where stuff looked war savage and they sent pictures where there's smoke and buildings, we see it with Ukraine and Russia, but I didn't see any of the pictures from Portland where the tanks are driving down the street or anything like that. I didn't get that. But holy shit, Batman. It is unbelievable. And I know you guys all go, Chris, it isn't going to change. They're cut from the same cloth. They do this, they do that. So you just got to live with it. Why the hell do we have to live with it? Or is it because you don't want to admit your party has issues? Or your party does anything wrong? Hell no, we aren't going to admit that. Nope. We aren't going to say, oh, shit, yeah. Inflation's not any different, really. Gas prices haven't changed. Oh, they went down 3 cents or 8 cents and now they're back up again. Groceries haven't changed. You didn't want to help people with student loans because, good forbid, no, I paid for mine back in the day. When really did you honestly pay for all your student loans, or did your mom and dad give you a lot of money, but you still had the ability, or did you go home and work, or did you honestly pay through? There's a lot I know did. I even stayed in housing that was with kids that actually saved up and paid all their way through school or had a scholarship. See, are you ready to fire Fickle at the Badgers? Or have you taken into consideration that UW is not going to have the team to compete with Alabama, all the big schools, because A, we have the NIL now that's paying an absorbent amount of money. We also have a transfer portal that you can go in and out of like a substation, like Subway. You just go in and get a sandwich. Try that one. Nope, don't like that one. I'll go to the next one. So we have a transfer portal that doesn't say, hey, if you transfer once, that's your only shot. Or if you transfer twice, you're done. Or you transfer, and if that coach that recruited you would get fired, you get one more chance. And as far as that money, they're going to give you $10,000. Or Nike's going to give you $1 million, Or is it unlimited funds, and then screw that, I'm transferring because you brought in a better quarterback than I am, so I'm going to somewhere else. So you can never have as a head coach, how do you ever make teams that are not going to be together for 1 or 2 years? If you look at all your dynasties, whether it was the Packers, whether it was the Lakers, the Heat for a while, the Clippers, they had to stay together for years. Look at your high school teams. Bram, where I came from in Minnesota, they started playing together at 7 or 8, 9 years old. And when they got into high school, because they had played so good and so long together at a high level, nobody touched them. They even went into Minneapolis North and beat them, which was unheard of at the time. You cannot build great teams by having a transfer portal. We don't have the NIL money, but also, here's the big one for the Badgers. They are focused on education. See, you're not going to get your extreme, and I'm not saying all extreme athletes aren't smart or dumb. What I'm saying is when you have a set of standards that are way up here because your education is important, to where you get like the Brady Ewings and the Joe Thomases and the Ferguson who played last night. They are supreme athletes, but yet they are very well educated as well. See, Russell Wilson came here for a little bit. See, and even I had a tough time with Russell coming because it was a 1 year out done. And we brought him in because of his, no. I think we need to set our standards to where, yeah, you know what? We've got a great team for GPA, all of that stuff. But we're so based on winning. We're so based on the score. So already this morning, Packers, Cowboys, 40-40 at a tie. Highest tie, second highest tie in NFL history. And yet now it's Jordan Love is a piece of crap, no good quarterback. Where was Micah Parsons? Oh, he was in the medical tent for a little bit, so we're paying that guy an exorbitant amount of money. He had a back issue for the first couple games. Now I think he tweaked it again last night. See, I don't watch it enough. I went to bed. I said piss on this because they're overpaid for what they do. They're football players. They shouldn't be signing deals for 3 or 4 years for $144 million. If you are an athlete and you make $1 million a year, that should be a pretty good standard. But you'll never get them. We shouldn't have quarterbacks signing, or baseball's the same way. That's why the Brewers, to me, right now are on my top, and not just because I'm here, but look at their salary. Look at their team salary. They're not the Dodgers. They're not the Yankees. They don't have that kind of money. I'm tired of money running everything. And that is also, I am tired of people making well, I'd vote probably Democratic side, but they believe in murder or murdering babies. No, I think the belief is that a woman should be able to make the choice for her own body and not have somebody putting a stipulation in there. See, there's times to follow the Bible, which there's times for some people that will follow it this way because it works best for me right now. However, I'm not going to follow it completely. I can treat people like shit, and then after I do that, I'll say, Dear Heavenly Father, please forgive me. I shouldn't have done that. You won't go back to the person you treated like shit and say, hey, sorry. You just go to the Lord and say, we have a president trying to figure out how to buy himself into heaven. Then we have a president also making $1 million tickets to buy your way to the United States. And yet we have people that are coming here busting their asses off, trying to make a living, and they are the problem. Understand the diversion process yet? Understand why a president hasn't, have you heard anything about the mass shooting or are we, because it's only 4 dead, we're not considering it a mass shooting anymore? Or if somebody says to you, hey, did you hear about that mass shooting? And you have to ask them which one they're talking about. And yet guns are not the problem. And I agree. I'm a gun owner, have multiple. But also, are we addressing mental health issues? Are we addressing any of that? No, don't want to talk about that. We have people dying by suicide. Drastic numbers right now. You also have people now doing these shootings, because I don't know if we know what mass shooting means anymore, because we use that on everything. But when somebody deliberately drives through the walls of a church and opens fire on people, it's definitely terroristic. But then automatically it is diverted to the left. And see, I'm not sure if you can be where I feel I am. I'm in the middle. I don't like a lot of the things the left does. I definitely don't approve of anything, most of the things the right does. Because they tend to blame and want to put that, they don't want to take accountability for anything that their side is. They're, Chris, you don't get it. Our side, you got to look at theirs. Their side sucks. It's terrible. Look at how good ours is. We don't have problems. They do. Oh, God, they do. Yeah. They're evil, hateful. Have you seen any of the rhetoric from the right? Seems pretty hateful, too. Yeah, it does. But it's always finger pointing to the other direction. See, when I was raised, Mom always told me when you have one pointing that way, you have quite a few pointing back, you know. These right here, they're pointing back this way. Because you don't do that when you point. You do that, which makes them turn this way. So when you want to bitch and complain, Jordan Love got to where he was, and the team scored 40 points last night. That should be enough to win it. The defense was non-existent. But yet, we don't want to judge that way the same way we do politics. We don't want to look at the head coach, which then has a cabinet of defensive coordinators and whatever else. We don't want to look at them. We're not going to look at all of that. We're just going to say the head coach. And nope, not when it comes to politics. The head coach doesn't need to be fired. It'll all turn around. It'll get better. It'll get better, Chris. Be patient. It's going to get better. You'll see it turn. It's going to get better. Okay. I'll sit back and watch, and I'll wait. By the way, I'm approaching almost 300 videos of the Moose, either Moose Minute or now the Moose Opinion Project. All on YouTube. You can find them under me. But that's my rant today, is we need to do better by judging and being honest about the current head coach of the United States and all the coordinators that are underneath him. Because I think they're all failing us drastically. And I know if the coordinator or anybody else said something about the head coach of the Packers right now, holy blasphemy. That'd be terrible. Yeah, so I get why some coordinators don't speak out, because their job is important. Yep. But some need to, and they need to figure out how to stand, because all the people underneath them aren't afraid to say anything. As far as right and left, the political party. You don't want to stand out and be separate. You don't want to say, hey, yep, that system is whack as well. No. We're going to point over that other direction and cover our eyes. So we'll look like this. We'll see this much. So that's where we're at. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Got big news. Tomorrow I will go through all the new sponsors for the second annual Marcy Strikes Out Alzheimer Baker Shootout. Going to have a huge event. If people are available and want to help, let me know. That'd be awesome. November 8th at the Phoenix Center. Going to be a great event all day. So, thanks for tuning into the Mop. I will be back tomorrow morning with another edition. And as always, take time to bless somebody's day today.